I won't do that again. trying, trying to be, I was trying to be fancy. Like, yeah, watch this. You ever did that when you was younger? You ever try to do something? My cousin did something right. One time my cousin, right? He was trying to show us that he could do a backflip. He was like, I've been learning cheering doing backflips. You know what I'm saying? He was real excited about it. This little nigga, right? He went in front. He didn't know he was too close to the wall. You know what I'm saying? So he went
Oh.
backflip. That nigga hit his head. My cousin, my cousin, my cousin said, "Nigga, you should have tried to do a front flip." That nigga hit his head like bagook, trying to do a backflip. You should have tried to do a front flip. I was rolling. It's like, damn, nigga. Hey, man, Torture Talk, you know what it is, man. King of the North, no more. I'm the Night King now. You know what I'm saying? At least on Friday nights, I'm the Night King. Saturday nights. You know what I'm saying? Got a special guest with me, boy S.
S reacts in the building.
Yeah,
Pronounce it like the letter S. Got bars. Yeah, we in here.
yeah, you know what it is. So look, man, we go. We got a lot to, man. Some things we gonna talk about tonight. You know what I'm saying? Let a couple more people come in. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the Saturday nights is a big night for people to do lives. So see if the Night King can draw some people in. But there's this video right here that I want us to watch. Rob Martin. He's interviewing this woman here, and she worked with Kendrick and Drake, and she's telling the difference between the two. So
Oh.
get into that. But I guess I want to ask you how you feel about the music video, the Luther music video. What you think about it?
I did a reaction to it the other day. The video is very mellow, very cinematic. Uh, he definitely is telling a story within the video. Um, there was a lot of Easter eggs in there. I was trying to decipher them, man, but you the master at that, man. I was looking, I
I,
was like, hold on now. I'm trying to think what that was, and then I was like, oh, you know what, man? I'm gonna just leave that alone, man. But
Nah, you gotta throw a theory out there. You just gotta do it.
yeah, man.
Like, yeah,
But
this what this mean. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They be like, yo, we got that from Escobars.
right, right,
People
yeah.
will, yo, I'm telling you, people be in other people's because I be always in people's chat. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm,
even channels that smaller than mine, they be doing lives. I be in the chat. They be like,
mm-hmm,
yo, why you in here? Like, cause I like watching stuff. Like,
mm-hmm,
yo, your channel bigger than this channel. Why you in here? I'm like, what? What does that even mean? Why am I
mm-hmm,
in this channel? Like, I like chat, and I be donating too, right? So the crazy thing is, you get in the chat, and then they'll be like, "Yo, the king of the north said that this is this." I'll be like, "Oh, people really calling me the king of the north." That's what's up. I'm the Night King today. You know what I'm saying? The Night King. So look, man. So there's a bunch of Easter eggs in that video. There's a bunch of Easter
yeah,
eggs in that video. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that I think that this whole thing is centered around. I think this whole thing is centered around death. I think it's centered around hip hop being stolen and being taken or kidnapped, and he's going to go and get it back. I know that's kind of weird. It's kind of a reach, but I would have to explain it to you in context clues. You know what I'm saying? Like in
Right.
I can't just tell you like right away. I have to explain it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
so we're gonna get into this video, and then we're gonna talk about the uh the video a little more in depth detail. We're gonna get into this and this interview of this woman saying how she yeah, everybody come on in. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Thank y'all for joining us. Got special guest today, Scott Bars. Make sure y'all go subscribe. You know what I'm saying? He will be in the description. Go subscribe. We're trying to get him up to 10,000 subscribers. So everybody go subscribe to Escott Bars. You know what I'm saying? And look, I only do the Night King, King in the North, and I'm the Night King today. The Night King usually only do lives on Fridays, but today I had to bless everybody because I think this is kind of fun. I like lives, man. I ain't gonna lie. Do have to work though. I ain't gonna tell you. You do a live and you can break that video right up.
Right, yeah, true.
Be mad
True,
as hell.
man.
They be like, "Yo, bro, we watched this yesterday." Like,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So look, let's get into this video, man, and see what she talking about.
Like, I feel like he doesn't give anything back in his music.
Hmm.
Like, all of his music is so self-aggrandizing, and it's about this very limited personal experience of being a man with access to a lot of women.
DIY. You were actually one of the earliest voices to support both Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and you spoke about it in that video. What did you hear in them both that made you take the leap early on?
Man, greatness, greatness. And it's like, felt greatness is such an interesting thing when it's in someone who is unproven, right? But it's something that I am always hyper aware of. Like, I feel like I can sense the deeper layers of people sometimes. And, both of them are such different artists. That whole time, I cannot speak enough about that time because it's just not everybody got to their level. But yo, LA was filled with
On fire.
mind-blowing talent.
I mean, she right about that. I think to be honest with you, I don't know if you know this, but I think Los Angeles, well, I would say California has much more talent than a lot of places right now. There's so many artists out of California that they have their own kind of movement in the way you think about it, and
Yeah.
their artists are different too. Like I give you like Janae Aiko for example. She's from the West Coast. Very very different from what you typically see in artists. So when she's speaking on this, the differences between Kendrick and Drake, I kind of want to get to the part where she's talking about Drake as a narcissistic man because I got a lot to say about that. What do you think?
Yeah, the part that you talked about the West Coast, man, the West Coast, I feel like the West Coast has definitely been on the rise for years. You kind of can see the change on the West going back into the early 2000s, and you could see like the influence that the East Coast had on the West as well as far as the rappers are concerned. And you could see like a lot of that influence spill into how they rap, their production and everything, man. I tell you, man, one album that I feel like that people need to go check out is Snoop's last album that he just dropped not too long ago. You gotta go check out that album. What's it called? Missionary. You definitely gotta go check out that album. That album's fire, man. And I don't think I think a lot of people like really didn't really. I heard the album got a little bit of pushback as far as like credits or whatever, and then it also had got a lot of praise too. For me, I think that album is like fire straight through. I feel like anybody in the comment section, you need to go check out that album, Missionary. That joint is fire.
All right, let's go.
Drake and Kendrick, it was really interesting because I think I want to speak more to Ken, so I'll start with Drake. Again, I told you I didn't have cable, so I had never in my life heard of Drake. Like, never, never, never.
We had cable, and I tried to avoid it because my sister was the one that was into Degrassi. I said, "Can I put the game on or something?" Like, well, continue.
But like at that time, I was so music obsessed, and I felt like kind of this like archaeologist or scientist of music. Like, I was studying samples. I had the chance to really communicate with DJs from all over and find and be attracted to like what is the new sound, what is the new person saying. And I was never looking at anyone as hierarchy, right? I never thought, oh, because you made it, I want to give you my attention, and oh, you're up and coming. No, like I was committed to up and coming. Like I felt like there is like so much treasure right now. Like what are people doing? And so I remember I first heard a couple tracks of Drake's that were like the first mixtape, like the early. And when you would Google his name, nothing would come up. Like not a single thing would come up when you the word Drake, you know. So I'm just like, oh my God, like what is this music? Who is this person? And you know, there really wasn't streaming so much yet. And so I just heard something, you know, obviously he's undeniable. He's one of the greatest, but I just heard something so different, like just so different. Just you could feel how I think magnetic and just how like highly talented he is. Like he's incredibly talented. Probably.
All right, so I got to give her some pushback on that. And this is just the more I go back and research Drake, he's not incredibly talented. He's gifted at using other people's stuff. If you listen to Drake's older work when he first started, he really didn't do as much as he's doing now. He really just rapped. That was it. He didn't do a lot of how would I say this? He didn't do a lot of different hooks. Most of the music that he dropped was just regular raps. That was it. I think Take Care was when he basically took off. And you know why? Because The Weeknd wrote most of that album. And then when you go to Nothing Was the Same, Nothing Was the Same, Quentin Miller wrote most of that album. So a lot of his music, when he started to like change, really was by somebody else. I mean, and at this point, you don't really know who's doing his music now. And then we see Nokia, and this is his recent song. Nokia is written by a guy from Africa.
Wow. Okay, so that explains the accent with the voice, because I thought it was at first when I heard the voice, bro, I thought it was trolling. Like I thought it was a troll or something like that. I didn't.
Baby girl.
Yeah, baby girl. Let me show you. No. I thought it was trolling. Yeah, I didn't know.
That's the corniest part I ever heard in the song, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know, man, that it was actually somebody that's really, you know, was doing that. I just thought it was a troll. I thought he was trying to say something, you know, indirectly to whoever. I didn't know.
So that's your cousin, though. Ain't you from Africa?
What'd you say?
You from Africa, right?
I'm Nigerian, but I'm Nigerian, but I don't sound like that, man. Like, you know, and I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, when I first heard it, I'm like, yo, who is this? Is that somebody trolling or whatever? What is he doing? Yeah. And then now that you explain it, I'm like, oh, okay. So that was an accent. That was somebody really, you know what I mean, singing or whatever.
That was an accident.
You said an accident?
And he trying to talk to some chick like, yo, baby girl. He almost fell. That's what that was.
That's
what it was. It was an accident.
Hey, man.
At any and everything he does. So you just have that sense of excellence, you know, and he had an incredible ear, incredible production. So I was really, I was so into it. A lot of his music at that time was really speaking to my personal experience at that age of just like wanting to get it, like wanting to break through that upper layer, like feeling like I was doing this work and I had all this talent, and like, when will other people know? You know, one of my earliest memories with Drake is like, at that time I had graduated to music director. I believe I was the youngest female music director in the country in the top 200. So I think I was like 23 at the time that I took that position, 22 or 23. And it's LA. We were a smaller station, but it's LA. You know, that's a whole,
LA, yeah.
that's a whole different life. That's a whole different level of access. You know, like I was really like in some rooms. You know, I remember like hearing, like people at Interscope and Dre whisper about this kid, Kendrick, who I had been, you know, supporting at shows for years. So when Drake came, you know, I had some flexibility in being able to play music, and I wasn't like a spin DJ, right? Like I wasn't scratching, I wasn't collecting, but my ear was crazy and I was able to program music. And so I used to just sneak records in I believed in, like no rhyme or reason, no kickbacks, no credit, like nothing. I was just like,
this is what I want to
hear this. I want to help them get their BDS up, you know?
Right.
And so like, I remember I almost got fired because I programmed Drake into the 3 a.m. shift to play a couple times an hour. And eventually my PD was like, I'm looking at my BDS forms and who the hell is this? And what are you doing?
Wow. For
You
a
know?
3 a.m. spin, you got that kind of pressure?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That story. I think she lying.
She capping. That's cap.
He lying, bro. I snuck it in, played it at 3 a.m. Like, come on. Who's listening to the radio at 3 a.m.? Drunk motherfuckers and get niggas to get high? Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe. You know, this crazy thing is, I used to listen to music that late. Back in the day when what was that? What was that radio show that was they played nothing but underground music back in the day? You remember that? You had it was like 3:30 in the morning. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
It was in New Jersey.
I don't remember what it was, but it was it'll come to me. It'll come to me. But yeah, let's keep it going, man. I don't want to do too much talking.
Wow.
I remember being at the station and like telling everyone about like this guy. People were like, nah, that ain't it. So, you know, funny. I was at his like very first LA show, got to really see the growth and the crowd response. So that was that. But you know, when it comes to Kendrick, that's something else entirely. It's not even comparable, you know, because I think and no disrespect to anybody's talent or whatever, but if you listen to my episode, the art of integrity that I did on this, you'll
I don't know about that. When you say something like that, you can't follow it up by no disrespect. It's not even comparable. No disrespect to you, but it ain't even comparable. Like what? I would definitely take that as disrespect. But what you mean it ain't comparable? What are you trying to say? Like for real, you got to take that.
Yeah.
But
what you think?
I mean, she got a point though. It's not comparable if you break it down. If you go through both of their catalogs, it's nowhere close. I don't really understand how people even compare these two guys. I don't. Drake's been rapping about the same shit since he came out. He never changed.
Yeah, basically.
No songs. Like Drake has no groundbreaking songs that is groundbreaking off of emotions and feelings. Only thing he has groundbreaking is just singles that he has done that just basically was successful. But the content of what he talks about is the same thing in every song. Every song.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm literally every song. It's the same formula. Money, cars, clothes, hoes. That's it. The same formula.
Nah, you're right. You're right. Even in Nokia, it's the same formula. The only difference is he took bits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, the only difference is he took bits and pieces from Kendrick Lamar's video and the Super Bowl performances and added to his joint. Like, it's the only thing he did, really.
He has no personality. Drake personality is a collection of other people's personalities. He really doesn't have an identity. He doesn't. I think that he's been exposed, and this is the reason why and we gonna get into the topic later, but I don't know. I'm trying to get her to the point where she's talking about him. So let's keep it going.
Know where I stand, but Kendrick is anointed. That's something else entirely, and I don't think there's any argument about that. He is anointed and his gift surpasses.
That's heavy. My God. She said the anointed. It's God. Oh my God. Bro.
So,
crazy for her to say.
What you think? She laying it on thick? She laying it on thick, isn't she?
Yo, there's nothing. Yo, he's anointed. What can you? What can an artist say to a nigga? Say, listen, I'm anointed, nigga. What can you say to that artist if he says I'm anointed? You can say to him, "That's crazy."
Yeah,
that means she see him as like some type of deity or something. Like he's like on another level.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like on God mode right now. Yeah.
He's anointed. He's like Jesus. Jesus Christ, Kendrick.
Sales. Obviously he's one of the biggest and one of the greats of all time, but it's not even about his popularity, right? Because like the kind of work he creates is so God-led and intentional, and really like revolutionary and transformative to people that it could exist in any date, in any time, in any country, and I really felt that. Like I really felt that from the second I first saw him. I felt it like a gust of wind, and I can't really explain it. And I don't know why I felt that. And, and I also know other people did too, fans did. They weren't necessarily in the position to, focus on like interviewing him or playing his music. But I remember when I first met him and he was like, J-Rock's hype man. And he was just like shaven head, like hoodie, like, and I knew it hit me like a.
Yeah, we know it hit you like a gust of wind. We know. We know. We know. Nah, the crazy thing is, she absolutely right about that. As far as the whole thing with him, with Kendrick, being a hype man, he was a hype man. But
I didn't know
that. That's a crazy story. Going from being a hype man to the greatest of all time. That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy. You know what it is? He has the same story as The Rock to me. You know what I'm saying? Like The Rock, when The Rock first came out, he was so trash. He wasn't even trash. He just like Rocky Maivia. And they said Rocky died. They hated that nigga, right?
Yeah.
Now look at him. Greatest of all time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it, man.
Yeah. Kendrick's story just shows you that, you can't judge a book by its cover. You just can't judge a book by its cover. Like you gotta like. This is why I never try to burn my bridges with people, because like you never know where that person will be in the next 5 or 10 years. And you know what I'm saying? Like
you're like, I remembered you, nigga. You set the bridge on fire. It fell on top of me, but I escaped.
Yeah, right.
You burning bridges and the bridge fall on a nigga.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
stand under it. Who said that? I think it was Joe Buttons who said that. Can't be burning bridges, but you be standing under it.
Facts. It's facts though.
That's facts. That's crazy, because that's how people be. But I know I get what you're saying about, like, you never know, man. But you don't want to be the one. We don't want to be one of those type of people that wait around either. But like, yeah, he might. Like when I was growing up, right? I'll tell this real quick story. I always got some stories. Right? I was growing up, right? My uncle, right? He worked at he worked for this company called Conrail, and it's a train. It's like a train company, right? And I used to say to myself, like, yeah, my uncle, he gonna be rich. He gonna take care of all of us once he get the big position. Help me to laugh, but that nigga died.
Oh, damn. What?
I mean, no, I'm not laughing at him.
Oh, okay.
I'm just, excuse me. I'm just saying,
You know,
he died.
caught me off guard.
He died, right? And I was crushed because I was like, well, how are we gonna make it out the hood?
Okay.
How we gonna make it out the hood? My uncle would have had the good job. He ain't here no more. It's like, bro. So sometimes you can't be waiting on people. You gotta do it yourself. they die. I don't mean to laugh. I'm just saying, bro. Oh my.
Nah, it's a true story. It's a true statement what you're saying. You know, like you gotta go after it. You gotta go after it while the time is there. You know what I mean? You don't want to waste any time. You gotta go after it. So I get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, let's keep it going.
Gust of wind, truly I knew. And I didn't know what, right? I didn't quite know what the music would sound like before he released his own. I didn't know what any of it would do or become, but just like when someone's in front of you that's gonna like help change the world or help change people's hearts and feelings, like you know it, you feel it, you sense it.
You do have relationships on both sides. You know, you talked about the support, the early support, but you were led to say something about it on your platform. And that's what really got our attention, because the things that you were talking about, especially the women in my audience, really, really, truly resonated with. What kind of pulled you in to speak about it?
There was no question. I think in watching all of it happen, I felt like, and not even that he needed any of us to do this, he is himself, but I just naturally feel very passionate about always writing for Kendrick, like from a soul level, from a heart level, like from someone that has seen somebody teach things and concepts to the world. He's just so much more than any of his songs heard on the radio, right? And so I think kind of watching this battle play out over the last few years, I've really developed my own personal sentiments about Drake, right? And I know how much we debate hip hop, and Lord, I'm probably not even going to look at the comments of this, but this episode.
First of all, you in this community, you are protected. I call my moderators. They know that my moderators are my snipers.
You know, to be quite honest, as a woman, but also as a professional with a highly trained ear, Drake just felt disappointing the last few years. Like he hadn't grown at all as an artist in terms of what he talked about. And I take offense to that, because when you have that kind of a platform, and especially when you are in front of the culture, a culture that is systemically oppressed and faces so much already, like, and you don't really take that position seriously. Like, I feel like he doesn't give anything back in his music. Like, all of his music is so self-aggrandizing, and it's about this very limited personal experience of being a man with access to a lot of women. And it's like, how often, like every song, like with your level of talent, right? Like his level of talent is incredible. His skill.
That's how you notice how
Say
in
it
the
again. Say it
beginning,
again.
I said, before you say something, I gotta say something. You know how she started off giving him all this praise, like, wow, he's the greatest. Oh, this and that. And now you notice how she slowly just turned, and she's just letting him down real easy. Now she's really starting to say how she really feel. That's crazy,
She
yo.
sound like she breaking up.
You're right.
You're like, yeah, you are such a good man. You're amazing, man. You just say for me.
Right? Yeah.
You just say for me, nigga. That's all. You a good man. You'll be a good man for somebody else.
Right?
Bro, that's crazy. Now, you know the thing is, Drake, this is the thing. Drake, the reason why I kind of, I ain't gonna say give her some pushback, But what she's saying, I absolutely agree with. But you have to understand, Drake is not of the culture. He don't understand culture. He don't.
Mm-hmm.
I always say this: Drake don't understand what it feels like for a hot comb to hit that head. He don't know what hot peas and butter is. He don't know what kick the can is. You know what I'm saying? He don't know
Mm-hmm.
what these hood games is. Catch a girl, get a girl, manhunt. He don't know what that is. He never been there. You know what I'm saying?
He don't know. He don't know. Knock the mama off the toilet. He don't
Yeah,
know nothing
he
about
don't know
that.
that. He don't know knock the mama off the toilet. He don't know none of that. You know what I'm saying? He don't know these games. He's not
Yeah,
of the
right.
culture. He's not. The thing is about Drake, when she says stuff like he doesn't give anything back, because he don't know how to give anything back. He thinks by he is mimicking what he believes the culture is. A bunch
Mm-hmm.
of dumb niggas who like all these different things, like bitches and hoes, cars and clothes. That's what he thinks that's what the culture is. He don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that the culture is much more than that. That's a tiny piece of the culture. But again, this is the type of behavior he displays because he think that Drake thinks in dumb black nigga music. That's what he thinks this is. When he first came out, he wasn't like that though. I'll give him that. He was just a rapper when he first came out, and he spoke from
What?
he mimicked Joe Buttons because Joe Buttons was doing that, but he took Joe's style and he ran with it. But once he got to start hanging out with a lot of these hood niggas, he started mimicking them. You know what I'm saying? All the niggas from Atlanta, 21 Savage, all these niggas. He started mimicking them because those niggas they real hood niggas, and he started mimicking them, and now all of a sudden now he's just like them now. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
just
What?
saying, but I don't.
Not the.
Look to him to push the culture forward. He don't know nothing about culture.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think changed over the course of time for him? Like, why do you think he evolved into who he is right now? Why do you think he couldn't have like been successful at the way he was in the beginning?
Well, he
What
could have.
was the whoa?
He could have. To answer your question, if you stand in a room full of people with shit on them, you're gonna get shit on you. Just the way it
Right.
is. If you hang around losers all day, you probably gonna be a loser. You know what I'm saying? If you hang around hood niggas all day, you might not be a hood nigga, but you're going to mimic their actions. You know what I'm saying? Just like
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of white boys who hang with niggas, and then they think because they hang with niggas, they get the pass to say nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
think that's where Drake is at in his career. His identity is Jewish. He is a Jewish man. He's black, but he's a Jewish black man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, he's not he's not an American black man. He don't know American culture. He don't. That's why he never spoke on any of these topics. So when people say, "Well, he never spoke on black issues," because he can't. He don't know how to. He doesn't. Like, think about it. Like, what can Drake really say? You know what he says about his dad? His dad is a pimp. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's a good black man. His dad is a pimp. That's what he says. My dad was a pimp. He said that in the
Wow.
video.
Yeah, I remember.
My dad was a pimp. See, your dad was a pimp. But what about your mom? Was he pimping out your mom? And I'm no disrespect to his mom. I'm just saying, you saying your dad was a pimp. That's not nothing to be proud of. But
Mm-hmm.
you almost 40 years old, still talking about your dad being a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen his dad?
Yeah, I seen a few pictures.
You see what his
Yeah.
mustache look like?
Yeah.
That nigga's stash is crazy.
Yeah.
How you got a mustache like that? He still think he
Yeah.
in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
He really do. That's a 60s stash. That thing crazy. That thing, you can hide stuff in that joint. That joint crazy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but I'm gonna see what else she got to say. Then we gonna cut this.
Set, his musicianship, it's incredible. And also his understanding and life experiences. You know, he has access to so much. And I don't just mean money, I mean like the world. I mean,
Right.
like minds, right? Like information. And I just feel like he always takes like the low hanging fruit and the easy way out as an artist, and he doesn't help. And it bothers me when people have power and they don't help. And so, you know, a lot of his music to me really began over the years to sound very sociopathic. Like it just sounded so apathetic, so much in like using women and using, like it just felt really manipulative. And then when you see some of his patterns play out, and not, you know, I don't know him, so I don't want to speak in his life in that way, and people will say whatever they want to say, but if you're a healed, whole, and healthy person, if you're someone that has respect for other people, if you're someone that lives in integrity, you really can recognize and hear the manipulation that he moves in the world with.
All right, so I want to stop it there. I'm gonna let it play a little more, but I got a lot to say about what she just said. All right, now this might sound like I'm defending Drake, but I'm not, because I think that this is very important, that because people forget hip hop, for the not the most part, a good portion of hip hop is very toxic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest here. I'm just being honest. Drake, that's a learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's not at fault. I'm saying that he learned this from other hip hop artists. That's just the bottom line. Hip hop has always been narcissistic or womenizers. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. We can't forget about these things. This been happening before Drake. So I think that when people say that he's been this, he is only a representation of what we showed him. Like, let's be clear here. We showed him this behavior. Not to say that it ain't his fault, because you do something, it's on you. Whether you cop it or not, it's still on you. You did it. I didn't tell you to do it. But we can't act like there was an influence there. And on top of that, once you get into the music industry, things change. This is the reason why Kendrick Lamar doesn't do anything with the music industry. He stays in the house. He's antisociable, because what happens? That the music industry is corrupt to the point where everybody is trying to get everybody.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So again,
no, I agree with you.
I'm not defending Drake. I'm just saying, when it comes to that type of behavior, yeah, I understand what she's saying and I agree, but we can't put that all on him, because hip hop music's been toxic, or at least the hip hop music we grew up on. Maybe not the new hip hop music. Well, then again, nah, the drill music is something totally different. But hip hop music we grew up on, yeah, they was going in on women. Like, let's be honest. Like, just be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you telling the truth. They definitely was, man. What you just say? I beat my with a stick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I never
come
did
on,
though.
man. Yeah.
I never did that.
What Akinelli say?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
come on now.
Yeah, man. They
Even
was
some of the
wildin',
women.
bro. Yeah.
My neck, my back. Like, come on. Let's be honest here. You can't put like he's the first guy to start that. Like, no.
Nah, he's not. Yeah.
He's a mimic of what's really going on. Because if they was rapping about real estate the whole time, I'm sure we could put it all on him. Be like, nah, they be talking about selling houses. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Yeah.
Like, for real. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why Kendrick Lamar is so different. Because he don't have nothing attached to him. He basically does his music and he focuses just on the music. He don't do no parties. He ain't doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not doing that. So I understand what she's saying, but again, he came into this game mimicking what he believes black people like. And let's be honest, black people like dumb nigga shit. We do.
Mm-hmm.
With every verse that come out, we want to hear Benny the Butcher. That shit hard. Jada Kiss. That shit hard. You know what I'm saying? We want to hear the real. We don't want to hear some nice shit. You know what I'm saying? We like dudes that got bars that's hard. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah. I'm looking at the comment section. Beats by Don. Yeah, Beats by Don Julio says that Pac was a hype man for Digital Underground. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, he was, and then he went solo. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
He's absolutely right about that. He's absolutely right about that. He was, yeah. And you know what's crazy? I'm glad he brought that up because I knew that, but I was so more focused on Kendrick. But he definitely was a hype man.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how that works? Kendrick Lamar following the footsteps, even from the hype man days.
Right, yeah.
The hype man days.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very true. I honestly didn't even know he was a hype man. I knew Pac was a hype man, but I didn't know Kendrick was a hype man. I'm just learning something today. Like I only knew from where I got introduced to Kendrick, you know, from the very, very first album all the way till now. So it's like I didn't know nothing about that. That's some intriguing information, like, you know. So it just goes to show you, man, that dude was on his 1-2 for a minute. Like he really came from the trenches of hip hop. You know what I mean?
He was. I'm gonna let it play a little more, and then we gonna get up out of this.
And that bothers me, and I can't support that, and I won't ingest it or consume it. So already for years, I felt very disconnected from him as an artist, and I couldn't really listen to the music. It felt like it was draining me as a woman and as a person, as someone, you know, that seeks to share light. And it just felt narcissistic. Like it's like, how many times do we have to just talk about your greatness and your money and your women and how hard you've had it and how poorly, you know, girls treat you? Like, that's just how it started sounding to me.
Same here. Because even when I would hear him tell stories, people know I'm very critical of Drake on this channel, but when you would hear stories, even about other people, you can tell when somebody's delivering a story and they still want to be the superhero or the one that escapes accountability. Yeah. And when it gets to that point where it funnels into the music, which, you know, this process where you think a thought, you believe a thought, you share a thought, you record it, you re-record it. At some point, there's got to be a connection to what's going on there.
The easy choice is Kendrick. Kendrick does and gives to people in the world, right? And I understand that depending on one's own emotional intelligence, they may gravitate to some songs and maybe not so much others, or you may revisit certain themes and aspects of his music. But this music is about like pushing a culture forward and humanity forward. It's deep introspection. It's connectedness to God. It is giving people tools and access to higher thought, to also just feeling seen and supported. And so when the Drake and Kendrick dynamic was playing out, another thing that I really rejected was, here you have someone who is dedicating their life to helping to unpack Black trauma. That's the way I see it in their music. And then you have someone else who grew up in complete privilege who is making fun of that. And I take a lot of offense to that. I took a lot of offense to the way that Drake treated Los Angeles. This is one of the most resilient places on earth. And I get it. A lot of people see the glitz and the glams and they move here for opportunity. But if you are a native, you have reverence for Los Angeles, for what it takes to grow up here and to be here, and for the kind of creativity that people that are from where Kendrick is from, what they're able to produce with nothing, you know? So it's like watching that dynamic play out outside of songs, outside of skill set, outside of friendship. It was like this is wrong. Like,
Yeah.
this is not okay. Like, you don't get to play this game where you get to come down to the hood and have fun when you want to, and then disappear and make fun of the experience. And that's what
Right.
it felt like. It felt like coming down to try to be down, whether it's here or Atlanta or anywhere else. And then, you know, you're adopting these certain kind of code switches to be in the room. And then you disappear and you make fun of all of it because you didn't have to grow up in that way, right? Because you got to watch it on TV in Canada in your safe home, and you got to make music for pleasure, not for survival. And so I just really rejected that completely. I rejected absolutely everything he said about Kendrick in his songs and all of the mistruths. Like, there, you know, and I think we don't champion consistent integrity enough.
Living in wisdom, a path to
Man, she said a lot, man.
And
She
I
said
go-
a lot at the end.
She did a thing at the end. She did a
Yeah.
thing. I ain't gonna even lie.
Yeah, she said a lot.
All right. So there's a couple of things that I want to speak on what she said. I'm gonna put it to you like this: everything she said was accurate, and it goes back to what I said about he don't understand Black culture, but there are demons who help him succeed at these things, and I think that that's what we're not talking about. See, we'll say Drake is wrong, but we ain't talking about the actual culture that the part of the culture that put him there. You get what I'm saying? So I think that it shouldn't have been allowed for Drake to come down to the hood and talk crazy. You know what I'm saying? If you're not from here, you shouldn't be able to even, you shouldn't even know what's going on here. But then you have to look at it from this type of dynamic. Hip hop, well, let's just say Black culture is exploited through social media, through television, whether it's through the news telling you about the hood. They only report how many people got killed in the hood. They don't report how many people got killed in the suburbs. It's like in Northeast Philadelphia, 3 men were shot. Like, yeah, but in Colorado somewhere, probably 5 men were shot. But we don't hear about that. You know what I'm saying? So our culture is exploited to it's exploited to the point where people look at it from a stereotypical lens, and Drake comes down into the hood and he looks at it like, well, this is normal. So if I'm Black, I have the Black gene in me. So what I can do is I can just talk about it just like them, because nobody's going to be able to tell the difference, because nobody actually is going to check me on it. And I think that I'm gonna say it's Drake's fault, but I'm gonna say it's most of our fault too, because we allowed that behavior to take place. We should have never allowed that behavior to take place. He should have never be able to. A guy from the suburbs who grew up wealthy should have never be able to came down into the hood and basically tell us about how we should be living. You get what I'm saying? I don't think that should have ever occurred, ever. You know what I mean? Because he don't know our struggle. I think he should have been checked at the door. Once he starts telling, like, it's like Logic is half Black. Do we allow Logic to say, nigga, he half Black? Why?
I don't believe I ever heard him say it or did. I know I got one of his albums, but I don't.
But
Maybe that was his
my point.
friend that said it.
That's my point. Yeah. We allow some of these how would I say? Because I'm not against people being mixed. That's not my point. My point is, it's a difference between you being mixed and you growing up in the hood, and you being mixed and you growing up as a Jewish man. You get what I'm saying? It's a totally it's a big difference. And I think that we have this thing with, we want and it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. We want everybody to be down. We want all these niggas to be down, especially a rich nigga. We want to teach you how to be Black. Like, no, we don't want to teach you how to be Black. It's not something you could teach. So you either grew up in it or you didn't. That's just what it is. So I think that what happened with Drake, I think Drake, he latched on to what he believed, what he perceived from, because you know, you see little early interviews with him and he's like, yeah, I was watching this Sean, and I'm like, that's that nigger right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of person he was. He didn't understand that you're using the hard ER at the end. Nigger. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say nigga. Said nigger. Like Vince McMahon was like, my nigga. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I think that he was a mimic of what he thought that the black culture was. And I get what she's saying as far as Drake goes when it comes to him being disrespectful and all that stuff, but it's a learned behavior. Because if we would have checked him from the beginning, like, nah, bro, you can't be rapping like that. You can't be talking about no women like that. Then he would have probably never did it. But since we was okay with it, oh no, it's cool, bro. Yeah, go talk to that bitch, Drake. Talk to that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Then that's what it is.